So, hi everyone. Welcome to this panel about inclusivity and accessibility media, advertising, and entertainment. We're here with an amazing panelist here to talk about such important issues right now. Um, so we are expecting. Oh, here is. So John Bosco as our moderator for this session. John Bosco, I yield the word to you, and you can start out now.
Hello, everyone. Good to have you, and great thanks to all of you who have been following on this program up to today. Um, with me today, I have Dr. Chino Patra. I hope I got that name correctly. And also, we have Shalini
Perfect.
Singh. So we are here to discuss something very, very important, something that affects the globe, because they say the youth are the leaders of tomorrow, the youth are the nucleus of the globe. And in recent times, the media, internet, advertising, and most of these outfits has become the way by which we reach the world. So today we want to talk about the things that matter the most, how inclusivity and accessibility should be addressed. And I have the two of them here. They are professionals in their own field, and I would like to introduce them, share what they know with us by asking a couple of questions and then getting their feedback from us. We learn, we share what we have learned with other people out there, and we hope to make the world a better place by doing so. So my name is John Bosco. If I'm a digital marketing consultant, and I'll be the moderator. And like I said earlier, we have Dr. Chinu Quatra. Dr. Chinu Quatra is a 33-year-old humanitarian who is born and brought up in Pain. He is a founder of Kushiam Foundation, who, through his exceptional work, is inspiring millions with his life mantra of Insan Bano Bohet Scope High. I think I did a good job there. I'm not so sure, but I'm just thinking. Dr.
Excellent one. Excellent one.
Thank you. Dr. Nichinu Quatra, with the support of Ms. Kavita Shugan, runs 12 long-term projects under Ananta Kushian, where they shelter homeless people, dogs, works for the betterment of youth by providing skill development courses and digital education, feed thousands of malnourished children, manufactures and distribute biodegradable sanitary pads across India. Dr. Chinukwatra has presence in 12 states and is also recognized globally. Through the tough times of COVID, where others were busy blaming the government, Dr. Chino and his team fed millions through ration kits and home-cooked meals. And when the nation was facing an acute shortage of oxygen, supplied oxygen cylinders to various states of India during COVID restrictions, for which he received the glorious ITA award. These countless efforts of these philanthropists towards the well-being of society were recognized by Sorbonne University, which granted him a PhD in social welfare. Today, he is recognized amongst India's top 15 successful entrepreneurs, courtesy of his hotel and social media marketing businesses. This extraordinary human is also a world record holder for cleaning and taking care of Mumbai's beautiful beaches. Recently, the glory of all these years of hard work and dedication of Dr. Chino and his team were brought to the world stage when Mr. Manish Paul, during his celebrity appearance on the grand stage of Kam Banega Crorepati KBC, announced that his entire earnings from the show will be donated to Kushian Foundation. Recently, Dr. Chinukata was also awarded by Maharashtra Ratna and the Midday Icon Award. He is an exceptional human being.
Um, Hello everyone. Sorry, John Bosco is
Yes.
having some issues. Hello, John Bosco. I'll be here to backing up with you. As we can see, you are having some of the network issues from your side.
Yes, yes, I'm having some network issues. So thank you for being here to help me also.
Sure,
So I
I'll be
was
here.
saying a big welcome to Dr. Shino so he can take the stage.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Hello, Dr. Shino. You have the stage. Just um, I just want to ask first. I hope you are delighted to be here because the youth eager to hear from world professionals like you. Are you eager to be here?
I am superly excited and honored to be on this platform
Yes, because we get a lot
which
of
is
feedback.
recognized globally.
People are eager to hear from you, so they want to also know if you are eager to be here.
Definitely, definitely. Anything from my side in this ocean of knowledge, I would be very happy.
So I would like to start by asking you quickly, please, Dr. Shino, what does inclusivity and accessibility mean in the media? Can you hear me, please?
Yeah, can you just repeat? I lost the track due to the network.
Hello, Dr. Shino.
Sorry.
Can you hear
To
me?
this, sorry to interrupt you guys. Dr. Chino, can you make sure that we are audible to you? Am I audible to you, Dr. Chino?
Yeah, yeah. Uh, yes, yes, yes. I suppose there is a network glitch with John Bosco.
Sure, I'll be taking the backup from John Bosco. So I'll be moderating the session now. That's our place again to have you here on a special topic, which is inclusivity and accessibility in media, advertising, and entertainment. Actually, this panel is more about the equitable representation for all the people and raising the empowerment and like taking the economy, taking the youth involvement and taking the media and how it's playing a role in having all the inclusive access to all the people. So I know that both of you are experts in your field. I know Shalini, she is as a journalist as well. She is having a great work in her area in media, also in the journalism. And I also know about you a bit that you're quite working as a social worker. You are having many talks and many sessions with many of the people in media and advertising. I know that you are from Kusha Foundation. So today we'll be engaging with this session, to learn more about you, that if, how you can share your remarks to us and to our in-person audience and to our online audience. So feel free to share some of your experience based on our panel theme, Dr. Chino. So, floor is yours. Then we'll be moving to Shalini.
Yeah, so basically, uh, I believe the media plays an important role in our life, and especially in today's life. We have seen in 2020, during the COVID era, when everyone was caged home due to pandemic, and how important it was, how important the media was at that time, the social media, the journalist people like Shalini ji, and who were especially on ground and giving the right stats to the people, giving the right information to the people even after being in a very dangerous situation. So media plays very important role when you have to voice out. Greta Thunberg is known because of social media. The voice of her have reached at all the parliaments of our globe. So that's how the social media plays a very important role nowadays. And yes, it should be not a gender bias thing. It should not be age bias. There is no age, especially where which is designed which the media says that it cannot be taken. So all age group people are most welcome. All age group people should be more considered. All the genders should be considered. All the genders should be have a equal rights on the media itself when they want to voice out. So I am known because of social media. I recently had my TED talk, and the topic was simple: social zero to social hero, and it
Wow,
was all
amazing.
because of social media. Uh, that's how. Uh, that's how we got in touch. That's how the globally we are coming together. It is all power of the media, and definitely the inclusion and the diversion and diversification. Everything should be focused on. We cannot say that this person is not eligible or that person is not eligible. Everyone has that right to speak, voice out, and be in the media center. So that's from my personal experience. I always tell my people to voice out, and how can we create an awareness? How can we create something through the network of media itself? The recent example is like 10-15 minutes back when we were doing this thing. We were preparing for the panel discussion. I got a message from a lady who is based in California, and she wants to work with me, and she's finding a chance to work with me. So this is how the network has become. It is super small, and just because of the media, she saw me somewhere doing through social media itself. She messaged me. So that's how. And yeah, uh, she's wanting to come to India and do the volunteering work. So that's the power of media, I suppose. And if it is utilized in a very better way, we can definitely break all the barriers which we are seeing as a youth.
Completely agree on your mentioned remarks, Dr. Chena, because you are correct, because even we at IYC, we started in 2019 just as an online panel session, just as an online conference. And media actually, I would say that it is having a very huge impact in our humanity, I would say, because it is can be negative, it can be positive, but we all should have to try to spread the correct information, and then can be spread it by media, that can be spread it by advertising. And I also agree on your remark here that networking, we all get networking by we keep engaging. And that uh, you know uh, the theme of our edition is that development and inclusion through innovation. So here I'm just adding this innovation part is because in this era, tech playing a huge role in doing our activities, day-to-day life, and even media advertisement, it's also the part of the tech, right? So we get connect with each other, we learn, we grow together by leaving no one behind. So that should be inclusive, or media should be inclusive. All the methods of delivering the good stories, the good news, that should be all inclusive, and that should be all good for keeping the all the people in a circle without leaving no one behind. Um, we'll be, interacting more as the time pass. Right now, I would like to give the floor to Shalini. So Shalini, floor is yours, so you can put some of your remarks on this amazing panel today.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. I was just wondering, do you want to give the introduction or do you want me to give my own introduction? I don't think it was mentioned at the beginning of the panel.
Well, it will be really good in that if you can introduce yourself, of course, so our audience can know you better. I'm not sure because our moderator were having some network issues, so it will be great if you can introduce yourself. It's always good to know people by speaking from there also. So please, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I mean, unless you want to do it, I'm okay with that, or I can just. Okay, so I'm a journalist based in India, Delhi specifically. I've been a journalist since 2006. I've worked with the mainstream media from 2006 to 2017. The media houses that I've worked with have been the mainstream English dailies, the mainstream English newspaper, the Hindustan Times, and the Week News magazine. And since 2014, I'm also a co-founder at People's Archive of Rural India, which is an online multimedia repository on rural India, all rural issues. And yeah, I mean, if there are other questions that you want to know about my work, I'll be happy to share that. Otherwise, I'm happy to jump into the conversation.
Sure, we would love to hear more of your experience about, your own experience on the ground, or we can ask your experience that how you see this accessibility in the media with the people, especially with the involvement of the young people right there, because our conference is designed by the youth for the youth. So we'd like to hear from you more that how. Or maybe you can share some of your experience. So, we would love to reflect your experience to our audience.
Sure. Going by the theme of the panel today, when we talk about the role of the media, and I think Chinu really, articulated the power of the media. I am going to, sort of draw back a little bit and talk about journalism here in the context of a democracy, right? So the media, as the fourth estate, is still a public good. And so, just to recall a very basic definition, what does the media do? The media shines a spotlight on the society that it functions and works in to enable its citizens to make informed choices at just a very basic level. um, just to give you an example, suppose I want to change my lifestyle to a healthier one, right? And I need to consult an expert or somebody who I think has more knowledge. So will I be able to rely on, say, a dietitian who may not be in their best health himself or herself, or will I find it more credible to follow someone who practices what they preach, right? I mean, I'm more likely to take advice on fitness from someone who's an example of being a fit person themselves. So similarly, in today's times, if we look at the media's role, it has expanded beyond disseminating information. I mean, the media is not just giving information. I mean, thanks to the internet and social media, the role has expanded in so many ways. As journalists, we are also also figuring out some of the newer things that we are grappling with. And of course, AI is the next big thing, in both good and not so good ways. So while the media's role is expanded beyond disseminating information, it is also telling its society to be more inclusive and accessible, right? So then it must, in its own functioning, the media in its own functioning must reflect those very ideals. So, if as a media organization, I'm doing stories on, say, gender rights or inclusion, social inclusion, accessibility, then the structure or the way that I work must show that too, right? Let me share a statistic with you. Data from the Center for Media Studies in Delhi found that in 2014-15, only about 0.24% of the front page news came out of rural India. So basically, rural India, that makes up 70% of the country, only got 0.24% of the front page news. So basically, what our mainstream media was essentially saying, that the majority of this country doesn't count as news for us. So at People's Archive of Rural India that I'm associated with, we're a handful of people trying to change that. We want to tell the stories of 833 million rural citizens through our multimedia journalism. And I'll just very quickly share with you about four ways in which we're trying to do that. Organizationally, if we look at ourselves as an organization, the way we are structured, it is to we seek to reflect that very diversity of Indian society that defines it, right? Given that nearly half, several of our readers are women, we all work as volunteers at Pari, out of which 37 full-time volunteers who get a monthly honorarium, 26 are women. So basically, women make up 70% of the team at Pari. If I speak editorially, one example is of a series that we did of over 40 stories across the country between 2020 and 2022 on rural women's access to reproductive health. And this endeavor, from pitching to reporting to editing to publishing, was done entirely by a women's team. And we also know that the trans community doesn't get much mainstream coverage anyway. And at Pari, we've tried to cover their stories, from the countryside. And the third thing, if you look at, is languages. India has some 780 languages, of which 22 are recognized as official. At Pari, we bring out our stories in 15 Indian languages, including English. And more than half of the 150 volunteer translators are women. Half of the language editors are women. And the languages team is also headed by a woman. And you also, the theme also talks about accessibility. And about 6 months ago, we did this video that talks about the idea of stories going beyond languages. I think it's possibly the first of its kind in Indian journalism and perhaps anywhere too. And be happy to be corrected on that. And sometime in the near future, we hope that we could look at getting our stories out in this format, for example, using sign language, where the stories and the journalism is even more accessible to everyone, irrespective of how they communicate. So that's my bit for now. I'll be happy to share more as we go forward.
Thank you, Shalini, for sharing that what you and your team is doing, for building up a more inclusive community. I really liked the point where you are telling that, the local languages that in India we are having. I'm also from India, so I'm quite aware of the situation and the language part as well, that we are having multiple languages. That's really good to hear that. You and your organization and your people are doing great by spreading great information and taking it more inclusive in terms of spreading the knowledge by their own local languages. That's really good to you. Kudos to you. As I'm coming back to you, Dr. Chino, as Shalini was mentioning about, women, gender equality, and how they are having the access. So I'd like to ask you here that what are some of the best practices that you have experienced or you are experiencing right now um, on promoting the gender equality and youth empowerment in media and empowerment? We are quite aware that you are really great in speaking and coordinating many sessions. So how you can see that, what about gender equality? It's just not talking about gender equality, maybe the people with the special people with disabilities, gender equality, youth, or women, children, and trans maybe. So, how's your experiencing going on in spreading this information and to make the environment more inclusive for all?
So firstly, thank you for this question. And whenever this question comes to me about gender equality, I always feel that we have to. My only answer is that I have to raise my bar even more, so that I can walk shoulder to shoulder with a woman. So that's what is gender equality is for me. Because I'm raised in a family where we have even more thought about respecting a woman, about seeing a woman doing different jobs at one particular time. So so from then, wherever I am talking about gender equality, it is more of the men should raise their bar and reach to the heights of women where the women have already reached. So it is not that the women should be at par with men, but this men should be at par with women now. So that's how the idea of gender equality. And in the media stream, if I say I will talk more on the social media part, since I belong to that particular stream too much. I've been on social media to the core, and I've been built by social media. Social media is a forte where and now everything is open. Now nothing is hidden. There are transparency on social media. So for me, gender equality, the thoughts I have already spoken, and the same thoughts goes outside in the society. Uh, and this was about gender equality, and the other part was, can you come back with the question?
Sure, I think you really answered the question already because as you're telling that we should have to keep women and girls and to make it more inclusive, just shoulder to shoulder. So it's like taking all the things in parallel and doing the work. So you already answered the question, and that's really making us happy to hear. You know that you didn't realize you answered the question, but you already did.
So we are already working with so many things. I don't want to name up the things that we are working for a gender equality. We are doing this, we are doing that. But I am trying to spread a word is simple that I want to raise my own bar. So the project name of my one project name is Mard, which is MARD. Mard, which is in Hindi, which means men, and the full form of that project is menstruation, a right to discuss. So menstruation
Amazing.
the,
Mm-hmm.
the menstruation project, which is named after a man, which is named as Mard. So that's how we are trying to make the thoughts of gender equality, where we are born human, and when I say insan bano, it is that we are born as a human and we will die as a human. So this all practices will be leaving behind here itself.
Thank you. It's an amazing project to hear that. I know that mud means man, and that's really good that you give a quite great and appealing name. But you are working on the menstruation works and spreading more awareness. I myself is a medical student. I'm in the final years, so I'm really impressed as being I'm here playing a role of executive director. But it's really good to hear about this project as well. We look forward for more collaboration in future on this as well for more conversation extending this. I'm just reading some comments here that our online audience are putting. Uh, BB Nargis, the person is saying that by using social media platforms and other advanced communication channels, we all will be able to connect it with a diverse community, understand and explore various cultures and norms. We can also expand our networking and experience a variety of ideas from people around the world. That's completely great. And as you told about networking, you told about learning the new culture and connecting with diverse community. We are even having the example here, at OIC people are joining us from different parts of the world and from different communities, from different culture, and even we are in person in San Francisco right now in California, so people are also watching. So I would say that that's this social media that we are getting connecting, that's inclusive, that I would say that we are a great example at this moment of being working on this live example on this panel of this session. And Shalini, one of our participant, one of our attendee, Beda Chaudhary, she is asking from you that she would love to hear more about your team's ideas on making stories go beyond language with the help of media, with the help of advertising. And she's also saying that I have seen some amazing stories, motion animation, micro stories without dialogues. So is that something you wish to bring to India? That's really a great question that one of the attendees is asking. She's trying to say that we are having many stories without dialogues, without lyrics, but just animations. So how you are going to put more more projects and more knowledge on it. So maybe you can answer this question for you from your team or from your side.
Sure. Thanks. Thanks for the question. No, because we are primarily a journalism repository. We are a multimedia journalism site. Um, I think it's a great idea. Just speaking in terms of media overall, to have ideas such as she mentions about films, right? Films or animation, right? Animation without dialogues, and that's evocative. Of a story. I mean, ultimately, whether you're a journalist or somebody who's working in the social media space, you are telling a story, and language is a means to be able to tell that story. And the idea is to communicate and communicate effectively. But like I said, we're a journalism site, so we do tell our stories in the Indian languages that we work in. That we're primarily focused on India and the rural the rural issues in India, and so we're trying to expand our base of the Indian languages that we publish in. And so this is an idea that we do hope in the coming times we could make work where we have our stories being narrated by an interpreter in sign language, to be make it more accessible for somebody who is not able to hear, or is and then narrate it for somebody who's not able to perhaps read. So those are some of the things that we are looking at. And yeah, ultimately journalism is at the heart of what we do, and truth telling and all of that. And just finding creative ways around to do that would be interesting going forward. So yeah, thank you, that's a very interesting question.
Thank you, Shalini. Thank you for answering this question. Many of the ambassadors that we are having, and many people are joining this session, they just keep putting the comments in the session. I will be picking up some more questions as we move on. So coming back to you, Dr. Chino, as we also talk about some of the entertainment part here, that how the entertainment companies or entertainment platforms are playing role, maybe because of your experience, maybe you yourself is not working on this part, but maybe you can share some of your experiencing of participating in that how that is affecting the economic growth, and that is affecting their how entertainment and media is affecting the diverse group representation, including I would say the youth involvement, and including the economic growth of the specific community, specific part, or specific country. How you could answer this question, and we would love to hear from you.
The famous example for this is our uh, one of our Indian movie have recently got an Oscar. Uh, the Elephant. It is about the community. It is about uplifting the community. It has a strong message, which has been recognized globally. So and if you see, the moment that movie has got Oscar, the whole attention has got towards that community. Even our own prime minister have visited that community and have met those people. So that's the power of entertainment right now. If it is utilized in a better way to give out a message through their entertainment, the money, the economic growth will be there for that people who are making that movie, and with that the community will make money because the more attention will be given to them. So when we are talking about the movies which especially the Bollywood is always usually make, so they are more talking about the tourism now. The places, instead of Bollywood stars traveling to abroad to do a movie, they're traveling to the different cities of India itself to make their own movie, so that the tourism sector boosts. So Uttarakhand is one of that those prime area where people are traveling and shooting, and the entertainment industry is present there. So that's the power. The moment it comes on the entertainment industry, the moment it comes on the on in front of people, it definitely gives a hype, and that hype is necessary for an economic growth. So that's what I could get that Oscar example itself the moment you told about the media, entertainment, and the economic growth. So that's the power of it now, and that's my thoughts on these particular questions.
That is really a great example, actually, from your side, and I'm sure that most of the people already have heard about the news of getting the Oscar for the Elephant movie. Uh, and that is a real example when we talk about the visibility of the community, when we talk about the empowering the community, and when we talk about the reaching of the community for the development. And it's also you know more related to the economic growth of not just the community, it's just for our whole country, for the whole nation. So it's it's a development, it's a growth of that. And you are right that media, and especially the entertainment part, the movies, the films, as this is a coincidence today that we are all through from India. So and I want to tell the audience that India is quite known for the movie production, which we call Bollywood. I'm not sure if some of the audience are not aware of that. So that's really playing great role in spreading the correct information and education. And Dr. Chin already have given the example. So any of you guys, if you're having any questions, then feel free to reach out in the comment, and we'll be also tagging our panelists on our social media post, and you can also find later on our platform as well. So feel free to connect with Dr. Chinu to ask some question. I know that some of the people can keep you bothering Dr. Chinu, but that will be fine. We all learn from each other. I'm coming back to Shalini. Our participants are thanking you to answer that question. Thank you. I would also like to say thanks again for you. Um, I would like to ask that how if I talk about that sometimes what happened that we are having some of the biased processes, some of the stereotypes when we talk about the involvement of media, in a specific organization, in a specific processing of a great cause. So, how you are able to deal with that? Because I can see that you are a woman leader, and on your own perspective, being a woman, how can you define that? What are the challenges and what are the opportunities that you have faced in your journalism, in your media, in your television part, in your publishing? So how could you explain some of your experiences and how you have already overcome the challenges and provided the new opportunity to yourself?
Thanks, Priyanka. So, okay, let me start by sharing that when I got out of college, which was in 2002, I started working. My first job was in advertising. In fact, I was a copywriter in an ad agency in Delhi, where I was the only girl copywriter in the team. I mean, they were all men. I was fortunate enough to make friends with some of my colleagues who helped me get introduced to the world of advertising. But at that time, which was 2002, there were no women in my team. In terms of women were seen more as, okay, designers, or supporting the work that the men were doing, but there were no women copywriters in the team at that time. And now, almost over 20 years later, it's great to see that there are a lot more women in that space. I moved from advertising to journalism about 6 years, 2004, 4 years later, which is like a complete 180-degree turn. And I was fortunate enough, because we've had some stellar Indian women journalists, who've made space for so many of us to come in and to be able to do the kind of work that we're able to do. um, Again, I started reporting on environment issues in 2010, 11, which when it wasn't as much of a mainstream beat as it's become now. There have been challenges. I would say, by and large, when you have the support of your organization, and you have your colleagues, your team with you, it becomes easier. But for example, as a freelancer, when I do stories, for example, I was doing the climate change in Delhi from the point of view of the experiences of the fishermen and the farmers of the Yamuna River in Delhi. There were many areas that I couldn't go by myself, and I had to ask a friend, or like a male friend or a male colleague, to come along with me, because some of those areas were not very safe to go into by yourself. So those are some of the logistical challenges that you face. But yeah, I'm sorry. Did I answer your question? I'd be happy
Of
to
course, you did.
add to
Yes,
more. Okay.
you answered the question, and thanks for sharing your experience. With being a single woman, that you were working in an advertising part, by being a single woman there with the man, and it's really good to see the women empowerment here as well. Um, And back to Dr. Chino, one of the attendees, she is asking that she's really interested to, she's working on the menstrual hygiene. Actually, that's not our topic of discussion, but I'm taking it in because that's really interested to know that she's saying that she's working on the menstrual hygiene campaigns in the rural school, rural part, and listening to your mother project. She's interested to approach this battle of social stigma, but she's finding it very challenging to involve young boys in the conversation because that's a stigma, and young boys are not getting involved in that. Even the school teachers from the Indian government schools, the male teacher, and they automatically exclude the boys from that. Any advice for her that how she can able to change this process, how she can involve more young boys and male in the campaign that she's doing there?
Uh, Definitely, it's a big challenge because when you talk, even when I was in school, I was not never made us understand what are periods because it is not our thing. It is usually said, but I suppose the taboo will be broken only when the men will know about it more and the men will talk about it even more. Um, Coming back to her question is she has to keep trying. It's not an overnight success. She has to keep trying. Try not to talk to a group of boys. Try to talk to a couple of boys first. If they are understood, they will talk to their friends, and that's how the chain will become. So what usually mistake we do is we try to grab 10, 20 people together and talk about it, but that way the right message won't go. Maybe the first two three boys who are listening to her carefully, they may change, but those other gang of boys won't be interested in that and try to take the topic to another level. Best way, sit with couple of boys, sit with couple of volunteers, young boys, and explain what it is. Explain in a way how your mother and sister needs to be done. uh, uh, Relate it with with their own family, relate it with their own blood related family. That's how they will understand. Ask them whether their parents, their mother or sister are feeling bit awkward or feeling a bit uneasy any day of a month. Then the answer will be yes. Then their answer will be yes, and that's how the conversation can be spoken about. So it is with the men. I would definitely say directly jumping on the topic won't give the right uh, information to them. Instead, try to take topic to them in a very different way, talking about their sisters, their mothers, the problem they are facing, the myths we are having about periods. So start talking about the myths and such topics more than directly jumping to the menstruation part. So this, and it is a very slow process. Trust me, it is a very slow process where even I sometimes struggle when we are going out and talking to the new community. So I can see the shyness in the men and the females, but slowly, steadily, the things will change, and things are changing. Use the power of social media. That's how I can say. Talk to more men. Put a questionnaire for men on social media. That's how the gang of volunteers, young men volunteers, will join you. And if at all you need my help, I'm always there. So they can get in touch with me on social media on my platforms. I would wherever I can go and vouch myself and talk about this thing and make a group of men to talking together. I would love to do.
Thank you, Dr. Chino, for such an
And the
inspiring.
more important thing is uh, give a man a sanitary napkin without hiding, without hiding it. So instead of remove it from the packet and give that one single pad to that man, let you see his reaction, let you understand his thoughts about those pads, because we generally young people don't know. It is always hidden. The in the advertisement also it is the blood color is not blue or green, it is red. So why not put something in the advertisement also red, so that we get a nice vision and nice representation of the things which is going on. So that's how the advertisement had to shift their part also to if they want to aware about this particular issue.
So, eventually we are again back to our topic of the theme because, you just mentioned about the correct advertisement, the correct spreading of the knowledge to this community, which is still a stigma, as we just talk about the menstruations in the communities where awareness is not needed. And we are sure that everybody now in this era, I'm sure that rather than excluding the some families, some communities, most of the people are having a cell phone, most of the people are having TV, right, television. They see the advertisement, they see the movies, they see, and they build their mindset accordingly. So that's playing a great role as well. And thank you for answering this question here from one of our attendees. We have to collaborate more. We have to collaborate more. Sorry, I was having few internet issues. So, Shalini, do you have anything to say regarding this session? So we can conclude the session for today.
Yeah,
Please
sure. I'll
continue with the
just
remarks.
quickly add a little, small little anecdote. I mean, not anecdote. I mean, yeah, like an anecdote. It's like it's a positive thing that I was happy to notice in continuation to what Dr. Chino was saying. I was at a conference last week, and there were a couple of colleagues. I mean, not from my organization, but different organization, and so I went to the girl and I said, "Do you have a painkiller?" And she said, "For what?" So I just said, I like mimed it as like PMS, and then, the her male colleague who I also know, he's also a friend. He was sitting, he understood what I was saying, and he said, "Wait," he rummaged through his bag, found exactly the painkiller I needed, and this is because he's sensitive to the fact that his partner, I mean, he was sensitive enough to know what his partner needs, and sort of that's why he was also sensitized to being more aware of the issue. And so, just wanted to add that it's good when men are brought into the conversation and they're sensitized in the right way. So, just wanted to add a little bit to that. It was heartening to see. And so there's this one point I'd like to make that earlier we were talking about sort of building equity and accessibility through the media. And so the point that I was making was that the same media that shines a spotlight on society also needs to look inwards and be reflective of those very values that it expects society to imbibe, right? So one larger point, having made a micro point, a larger point that I'd like to sort of zoom out and say that when we talk about driving economic development, which is part of your theme today, is that when you're talking about driving economic development in an equitable manner, then any society that deals with inequality, especially one like ours, then we must deeply reflect on that. We have some 160 dollar billionaires who own wealth equal to one fifth of this country's GDP. And like I said, I'm not getting into other social inequities, of which there are plenty. So economic inequality is a grim reality and a bigger idea that we must as a society reflect on and see how we want to move forward, when we talk about justice and equity for all. So yes, media has a role to play, and we need to be highlighting more of those issues that sort of tell us whether the larger problem or the larger reality is something that we should be looking at. And economic inequality is a very, very is a key issue.
Thank you, Shalini. It's great to hear that some of both the positive and negative aspects regarding the theme of our panel, including the accessibility in media, advertisement, and entertainment. As I can also put a few remarks that Dr. Chino has talked about some of the positive aspects more towards bringing the change by using this, and how he's already experiencing. And it's also great to hear some of the the challenges that you are having on your side and how we can raise the voices to solve that as well. So, Dr. Chinu, we still have 10 minutes, and I'd like to ask you that, um, as we are having a great engagement of the young people, and many young people are listening us right now, I'm sure that some of them are interested in, maybe having a career in media, maybe having a career in designing, advertising, or maybe in journalism, or let's say maybe in television entertainment. Maybe some of the people use this platform to do advocacy, to do activism, to do I would say that the good approach, to take the good approach by using this platforms, entertainment, maybe like some of the platform we may know in this era is the social media, let's say the TikTok, let's say. So how you could tell these young people to motivate them more to use them in a very good way, and how they can bring the change in the community by just using the platform, by just using the media, by just using the short of the good information spreading, as you in the beginning already told about that you are getting feed by social media, you are having his experience in this, and you are doing and delivering your cause to the world by help of this social media. And also not just social media actually, we can also talk about some of the public platforms of speaking. We can talk about here the entertainment parts, that how we can um, mobilize these young people, because there are many people who are having no access of the good knowledge actually, how to start their career in that, how to start the activism, how to start the advocacy. In this era we are facing many crises. For example, let's say if I talk about the climate crisis, we are all talking about this, and how they can start a way just by creating a one project on social media, or just by creating something that they want to bring the change from ground, and they want to raise the voice, and they want to do some positive cause in their community. So how could you just try to elaborate my question more in towards the solution, towards the finding solution?
So basically, the message is simple and clear that whatever your heart says, you have to do. If you want to make a career in any of these streams which you have mentioned, media, entertainment. I'm not a media guy, so I'm an accidental influencer, I would say. I'm an accidental creator. I was not meant to be a creator or an influencer, but I became, and that's how the journey will be there with you people. Though through my educational qualification, I have done my master's in finance and marketing, which is nowhere seen in the work which I am right now doing. Though my passion is to work for the society, now professionally I have become a social media marketer because I know this thing has money, this thing has people, and the more people, the more money. So try to get a network. That's what I would say. The money will keep flowing if you have a good network with you, if you have good connects with you, which is everlasting. Then and try to maintain those relations, because usually with the social media thing, today we are friends and tomorrow we are ghosting each other. So that's how fast the things have become in our life, which I suppose we have to cut it down. The youngsters should get this idea that if they are making some bond on social media or any other platforms, they have to take it long. That network will help them longer. So today, who are the people who are helping me are known to me 7 years, 8 years, 10 years back. So one of my professor of my college, she is sending me interns. So I was a student of her once, and now she is sending me her students to my organization for internship. So that's how the chain becomes if you maintain those older relationships and make career in whatever you want to. Uh, make sure that you are focusing on the right things. On social media, especially, I would say the right content does not get viral, but the moment you put a wrong content, a content which should not be there on social media, if you're putting a fight content, if you're putting something, some those contents which which I suppose it doesn't make sense. I laugh it out on people when I see there are 1 million views. There was nothing to see as a 1 million views. Instead, spread a right message. If someone is doing something good, do that. And earlier people used to say that social service, you should do social service and not show it to people. I would say show it to people. That's how these people will get inspired. So if I am cleaning some beach, or if I am seeing cleaning some lake on a particular day, I definitely ask my people to post pictures, because that way you are not blaming anyone, but that way you are inspiring at least one person to come out and do that thing. And that's how our prime minister came down and started cleaning. That's the reason the whole world started cleaning. And that's the reason that that one campaign, which is called Bharat Mission, which it became a bigger campaign globally. So that's how the things has to be done in a very clear way. Follow your heart, follow your vision, because heart won't be ever wrong. Maybe there will be challenges. Maybe you wanted to get into advertisement and you will directly jump into politics. So you never know, but you are getting the learning out of it. So the learning should never stop. That's the only thing I can give a message from my side to my experience.
Amazing, Dr. Chino. Really amazing. I would success to you for sharing this experience. And inspiration is the key, and people get to know more when they are watching the things that are happening around the world. And we all agree on this when I say that. Media, the correct use of media, the correct use of advertising, the correct use of advertising by the advertising company is a very good, way of spreading the information, which can also inspire the people, especially the generation, the younger generation, that we are more focused on, taking as a center of the younger generation, because that's I agree on this as well. If you can ask that it can be negative, it can be positive, but ultimately we should have to look for the positive cause. And to our audience, I just want to say that raise the voice, and it just start maybe creating by one account, maybe just creating one account to show your work to the people around you. Maybe you can't meet the people in person, but you can meet the people on the network, on the social media. And please use it in a very good way, and please use it for the good cause, and to save the planet, to save the humanity, to empowering yourself, and having the more growth in your community and to yourself. So by this, dear participants, we will love to conclude the session. However, we will be keep collaborating and keep coordinating, keep interacting for our future sessions. Keep tuned with us. Stay tuned. We are going to have more sessions, and I would also like to tell that this is the fourth day. This is the final day of our international youth conference, and the last 3 days, it was really amazing to host such a group of panelists from around the world, talking about different issues, different challenges, and finding solutions. So, with this session, it was my honor. We are sorry for the inconvenience that caused. Our moderator was having some internet issue. I had to take back up, but it all went good, and we are so happy to have you here. Thank you for joining us today. It was our pleasure. Thank you, Shalini. That was really great to hear from you. And thank you, Dr. Chino. We are about to wrap up the session now. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Thank
for
you,
having
thank you,
me.
thank you so much.